but as I filter through levels of coaches in each conference, let's not even approach the Lincoln Rileys and Dabo Sweeneys. Let's go way beyond that and keep filtering down through the ranks. Take a conference like the Big Ten. Who would you not take over Manny Diaz? I'm going to serve up possibly one name. Mike Locksley at Maryland, not necessarily doing a great job, had a pretty horrible stay at New Mexico State, but still just got Maryland to a bowl game at 6-6, so he's not doing a horrible job. I would take every other coach in the Big Ten, and I wouldn't even think about it. All of them are better than Manny Diaz. It's not even debatable. Okay, go to the SEC. The only guy that's only coached now one season, and he's at obviously a very challenged school, is Clark Lee, former defensive coordinator at Notre Dame, now at Vanderbilt. So he's difficult to evaluate. He's only been there for one season, and obviously he's playing the best league in the country with one arm tied behind his back. Other than that, don't you take, guys like Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri, jury's still out, 5-5 last year in his first year, 6-6 this year, hasn't set the world on fire by any stretch, but pretty much what you would expect at Missouri. Josh Heupel's better than Manny Diaz I'm going through the entire SEC. I'm coming out with the same conclusion other than Vandy and possibly Missouri. Consider Shane Beamer took over a 2-8 South Carolina team. They're going to a bowl game. They're 6-6. He's improved them considerably. They just beat Auburn a couple of weeks ago. Go through.
I'll take Brian Harsin. Give me Auburn's head coach.
Oh, absolutely. They just took Alabama to 4 overtimes. I know that they had a disappointing 6-6, but I picked that team to go 6-6. Their schedule's brutal. If Brian Harsin coached in the ACC at a school where every time he stepped on the field, except maybe twice a year, he had the better talent versus what he's going to face in the SEC West. Oh my goodness. Go through every conference. Almost everybody's better. And the ones that aren't basically haven't had a chance to prove it yet.
But I don't really blame him, and I know you're not attacking him per se. But
no, I'm not.
Mark, it's so many people in this fan base that are literally trying to give the argument of, Mark, we had a very decorated former player come out and say in support of Manny Diaz. This man compared him to when Michigan gave Harbaugh 5-6 years. And look what happened when the administration didn't listen to the fan base and gave a coach 6 years to build a program. He topples a giant. And there's a picture of Manny Diaz standing next to, like a split picture of Manny Diaz to Jim Harbaugh. And he legit compared Jim Harbaugh to Manuel Diaz. He was serious.
Obviously, the mark against Jim Harbaugh is he got stuck behind one of the 3 best programs in the country for 5 years. Well, now he beat them. But look at all the previous accomplishments. He went to Stanford. They were a 2 or 3 win team. He goes to 2 consecutive BCS bowl games with Stanford. He raises them from 2 or 3 wins to 11, 12 wins a year, top 5 finishes. He goes to the NFL, goes to San Francisco 49ers. They're 2-14 before he gets there. He goes to 3 straight NFC championship games. Comes within a completed pass of winning a Super Bowl. Those guys are in just completely different universes.
But that's what people try to make the argument. We also had somebody who's trying to make the argument that you need to give people 4 to 5 years to show you after they have an opportunity to build a program. Well, he's shown you twice who he is. The first year, he showed you who he was with a 6-7 record, losses to Duke, FIU, La Tech. Okay. The next year, it's a global pandemic year, and he has first-round talent on the defensive side of the ball. And his peak was 8-3. And anytime we played somebody worth something, we lost and lost big. Okay. This year, he again proves to you who he is at 7-5. He's a 6 to 7 to 8 win kind of coach. That's who he is right now. So next year he's gonna do what? Come back and go 7-5, 8-4 again. And what people are missing is this entire time you're wasting the careers and lives of young men to see where he goes just because we want to give him a chance to finish out his contract. Really? But that's how some people think. They think they just
almost 100% of the time, if a coach is eventually going to be successful, you see strong indications of that the first year or two. You see it almost immediately. The only two exceptions I can come up with, and there's probably a few others, way back years ago in the 80s, Bill Snyder, when he took over Kansas State. But you're talking about a program. Somebody go look at Kansas State's records in the 60s, 70s, 80s prior to Bill Snyder. They were literally going 1-10 almost every year. They were horrible. And so that's taking a program that's just the worst in college football. And that's understandable. It took them like 3 or 4 years. And then they're going 9-3, 10-2. Like he completely lifted that out of the gutter. And then the other example currently would be Mark Stoops. And again, Kentucky wasn't quite that bad, but they were pretty bad when he took them over. And it took him a few years. It took him 3 or 4 years to get them up to, okay, we're going to go 8-4 pretty much every year.
And that's a step up for that program. That's a step up and things of that nature. So
absolutely,
it's weird, man. It's I'm just happy. And then Brandon D brings up the same person that had that. Brings up a great point. I know we got to get to this because this is a paid question, but look at the comparison team, Mark. Who did we play in a bowl game last year, right? Oklahoma State. These people are vying for a playoff bid. This could have been a rematch. Let's say, for example, Miami has their crap together. We could be doing a rematch of that same Russell, Cheez-It, Athletic, whatever it's called now, bowl, and maybe the first round of the playoffs. I'm just saying maybe, especially if you look at what Miami was bringing to the table. And now if you fast forward and look at how far Clemson had fallen off, this could have been Miami and Wake Forest or Miami, NC State in the ACC championship game, and Miami's 10-2, figuring it out. Say we lose a road game to Tallahassee and we lose the first game to Bama. Or hell, you lose Michigan State and Bama. Cool beans, no problem. 2 really good teams. We just weren't there. We finished everything else out. We're 10-2. We're going to play Wake Forest in the ACC championship game. Oak State does their thing, and look at that. Russell Athletic Bowl rematch in the first round of playoffs. That would have been pretty cool. But no, that's not what we're getting. Far, far from it. They have projected and taken off. Arguably, the same team came back, except for Chuba Hubbard, because he went on to the NFL, I believe, right? He's gone. And they are a playoff-bound team. While we're getting ready to play.
Wide receiver, too.
What'd you say?
Tylan Wallace. They lost.
Yeah, the big-time wide receiver. Yeah, he left.
Yep.
Now we're about to play in the Sun Bowl or something. It's just wow.
Think about this. Throw out 2020 because the ACC didn't have divisions and Notre Dame took up that other championship game spot. 2018, 19, and 21, 3 consecutive seasons. Miami beat the team from the Coastal that went to the ACC championship game. So they proved on that day that when they're playing on their game, they are better than Pitt in 18, Virginia in 19, Pitt in 21. But because that team was on point the rest of the season, doing what they playing at their level, Miami screwing up against other teams, they didn't win the division.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And that's, again, we have so much. I feel like we've beat that dead horse so many times about talent. blue chip ratio, recruiting, star system, whatever you want to argue, Miami's the best team on the coastal on paper every year. But you need a coach that's going to come in and be a disciplinarian and get us focused. And I believe once we do that, we'll be all right. And that's why I continue to say there's a huge margin between what I want out of Mario and what I want out of Lane. If I come on here and Lane Kiffin is the head coach, I'm going to be excited. I'm still going to have a whole bunch of worries. I'm just going to be very, very nervous about him off the football field. You know, I am. But as far as going out there and blowing out Virginia and kicking Virginia Tech in the teeth and beating down, getting in the shootout with Pitt, we probably won't have to worry about some of those things. We're going to win on the football field. And again, some people believe it's unfair, my viewpoint on him, and that's okay. That's just my view. That's my view, my opinion when it comes to Lane Kiffin. Cam has his viewpoint when it comes to Brian Kelly. He can't stand him. No matter it's that off the field stuff matters. And I'm sorry, not sorry, what you have done in your past until proven otherwise, that's who you are. And it's still nothing has been proven otherwise that he's not a, go to the strip club with your wide receivers coach kind of guy. And I don't think we need that at Miami. Okay, you want to talk about our past? Our guys didn't do that kind of stuff. Jimmy Johnson and Snellenberger and Butch Davis, they didn't do that kind of stuff. They built a program from the inside out. And you checked your ego at the door, coaches included. And we were building men. You come in as kids. Through your process here, you become a young man, and you leave here a grown man, ready to do things the right way. Not thinking that things are just going to be given to you because you're the oldest. Not things be given to you just because of who you are, what your last name is. Not things be given to you just because ESPN thinks you're the starter on a projected depth chart. You had to go earn that stuff. And they didn't care if you were an 18-year-old freshman or a 23-year-old red shirt senior who came back. You had to earn your keeps. And it was from how you did things on Green Tree practice field and in our weight rooms. And that has been far cry since me. Mark Richt was a nice bleep in the radar. But Randy Shannon, nope. Al Golden, nope. And now Manny Diaz, no. None of them did things that way. And again, that's not to just take a crap on Lane Kiffin or Jamie Chadwell or whoever these people are bringing up, but there's only a couple people, one in particular for me, and that's Mario, but maybe someone like Tom Herman, who was a no BS kind of coach. We need somebody that's going to come and shake things up here and get our young men refocused. Because what the main reason for us not winning this is a lack of focus and a lack of discipline. Speed, you don't got to worry about. Size, you got to worry about. Catching the football, you ain't got to worry about. Tackling, a little bit. You got to worry about that. We're one of the worst tackling teams in the country.
Catching the football maybe a couple of years ago. Over the
Right,
last
yeah, you're
couple of
right.
years.
This year we worked on that. And that, what happened with that? We brought in somebody with a resume. And what did he do? We didn't just promote our recruiting coordinator to wide receivers coach because he's really cool with the players and like, yeah, that's what's up. Nope. We went out and got somebody with a resume, and look what happened. That's it, man. We got to do better, man.